Nonstop Rock Talk with Tyson Bryden.
Welcome to Nonstop Rock Talk. I am your host, Tyson Bryden. On today's show, I am very happy to welcome drummer Chris Slade. Chris, how are you?
I'm well, thank you, Tyson.
Thank you for joining me. I was pretty excited about having you on the show, to be honest with you. I mean, your long line of work of bands is quite impressive.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I've enjoyed myself.
and that's what I love to hear, that you have enjoyed yourself. That's amazing. So, more or less, you have released an album with the Chris Slade timeline entitled Timescape. Before we kind of get to that, I'm kind of curious about the Chris Slade timeline, the band itself, and in terms of putting the band together. I'm sure there was sort of a vision for yourself of how you wanted this thing to be.
Yes, I wanted musicians that would want to play AC/DC and other stuff. You know, it's very hard to find that. You know, people say, "Oh, I'm just a heavy player, man. I can't play that." You know, whatever. Or I just play jazz or something. You know. So, you know, it was. I knew the guys before. Over the years, so I picked the best guys that I knew, and I knew would want to do the job. We've been together 12 years now, same people, and I'm very pleased with the way it is.
That's amazing.
And has been.
That's great.
So you know, it's great to work with these guys because they're such good musicians.
Yeah.
Because they can play anything, really. They used to be in a band together at one time that did like pub covers, you know, bar covers of like Genesis and Kansas and stuff like that, and they do it perfectly. So I knew that they were very capable of playing anything, really. And so I asked them if they would, you know, just want to start. We didn't even have a name at that point. I came up with that timeline because that's what it is. When we're on stage, we play for like 2 hours of the music I've been involved in, including AC/DC and Asia and Jimmy Page and David Gilmour and things like that.
Yeah, which is
so. You know, it's a great buzz even now, 12 years down the line.
It's amazing. I mean, mentioning those names, that's something. Like, I mean, who can say they got to play with Jimmy Page and AC/DC? I mean, there's not many guys out there. I mean, that have had that, you know, that pedigree where they've got to play with those type of people.
Lucky.
Yeah, that's. I mean, that just blows me away. I think. Wow, especially when going into this, and I mean, I knew you from AC/DC, and I didn't realize the Manfred Mann connection. I did not know until later on that you had played with them.
Yeah, well, it's Manfred Mann's Earth Band, which was from the start of the 70s. It's still going now, actually. Manfred's still taking a band out.
Yeah, that's amazing.
In Europe. And he's 80-odd at the moment.
Good for him. That's phenomenal. Wow. So, I mean, in terms of this album, which I alluded to earlier, Timescape, I think it's cool because I guess it's technically 2 CDs or 2 albums, however they call it today. I mean, back in the day, it was kind of a double album, right? But I don't know how they term that on streaming now. Maybe it's the same thing. I don't really know. What I love about it is the first part of it, which I guess would be the first CD, is original music, and then the second part is songs that you were a part of. You know, Manfred Mann's Earth Band and AC/DC and some other things.
I wanted to do it that way. I wanted to make two separate issues, one original and one covers.
How did you? I mean, especially with the AC/DC stuff. How did you go about? Because, and I'm going to allude to one of the songs in a bit. How did you go about picking those songs? Were they just songs that were your favorites?
No, they were songs that we had. Some of them are, of course. They were songs we had mixed. So it's that the record company wanted some AC/DC. And, I said, well, if I'm doing that, I'm going to put other stuff in, like Earth Band and whatever else we had mixed in the cans. In the can, I should say. And so it came as quite easy to choose the tracks because we already had them done. We've been recording for like 10, 12 years with nothing in mind, if you like. We didn't intend when we started to do anything with them except have them as a record of our work, Timeline's work. So it just went from there. It just grew, and I definitely wanted ACD of original stuff because the guys, most of them write as well, either just music or songs. And so I wanted to make use of that and record that. So that's exactly what happened.
That's great. One of the songs that I thought was cool that was on there was Big Gun, which was, I remember it originally coming out, which was on the Last Action Hero soundtrack, which was a great soundtrack. I think the soundtrack actually did better than the movie, and I did love that movie. Was that one that, like, you obviously you had alluded to the fact that these were songs that you had been recording all along? Was that one of the? Go ahead.
Yeah, I like that. I like Big Gun as a song, and a lot of people, especially in Europe, they don't know it that much because, as you say, it was soundtrack to Last Action Hero, and it didn't do so well here, I don't think, as it did in the States. But I think, I always say, it's not a great movie, but it's a great song. And it's a great riff, tremendous riff. So it's always a buzz play. We play it on stage every night almost.
It's funny, there is a story behind that song. Back when that song came out, and it did get a lot of airplay up here in North America. That song was on the radio. So remember a buddy of mine, I lived in a small town, and he had a car, and he would be up the street, like probably way up the street, and I could hear him coming because you would hear that opening riff to Big Gun as he was coming down the road in his car.
Yeah.
And we all knew he was, but we loved the song because you're right. That riff is so good. It's just, it catches you. It's kind of right.
It's brilliant. It's a bit like Peter Gunn or something.
Yeah.
It's a classic riff, and it just rolls around.
Yeah.
And of course that's what Angus and Malcolm are like for writing stuff like that. They're geniuses at what they do because they make it sound simple. Mm-hmm. They make everything sound simple. And, a lot of musicians know that AC/DC is not simple. Oh. People think it is, which is the genius of Angus and Malcolm, actually, to make complicated things or not straightforward, simple things sound really simple and straightforward. So a lot of people don't get that. They think it's just simple stuff. And I've had musicians trying to learn AC/DC when I've put, say, some musicians together for a gig or something.
Right.
And a lot of them have said, I've got a new respect for AC/DC and their music, because it's not as easy as it seems. So, it's a great honor to play that stuff.
Yeah. Was Big Gun, was that tracked for the Razor's Edge, or was that done after the fact?
No, it was done completely separate for the movie.
Just for the movie. Okay.
Yeah. We flew to, from Europe, we flew to LA, and we just did that track in the studio. I think it was LA. I can't remember the track, the studio at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
But it's one of the top studios in LA.
That's cool.
And the video was done a little while after, and Arnold Schwarzenegger turned up, of course.
Cool.
And because he was promoting his movie.
Yeah.
And he's a very funny guy, actually.
Really? Oh,
Yes.
That's cool.
It doesn't sound like he is, but you listen to his interviews, and he's actually got a great sense of humor. And when we were first in the studio, we were sitting outside around a table, the whole band, which is very unusual to find every musician sitting around having a cup of coffee. And this Hammer drove in, and it drove in, and it drove in, and it drove in, and it kept driving towards our table. And then it went up against the table and started pushing the table, very slowly, of course.
Right.
And that was Arnold driving, of course.
Oh, wow. Well, that's cool. I mean, that's a great story to, you do the song and you do the video on Arnold Schwarzenegger. That's amazing. I was just reading something else about Arnold doing Terminator and how he was on the set as well. And it was in a book, and I thought that was cool. It's great when I remember back in those times that music, especially hard rock music, was incorporated in a lot of movies. The soundtracks were, a lot of that music was incorporated. It wasn't just Last Action Hero. I think of Terminator and Guns N' Roses being on that soundtrack as well. And they kind of went hand in hand. And I kind of miss those days where the soundtrack was just as important to coincide with the movie itself.
Yeah, you can tell what Arnold's sense of humor is like when he put on the schoolboy suit for the video.
That's
the
right.
Big Gun video.
That's right.
He's 2 or 3 times the size of Angus. He's probably double the size of all of us.
Yeah, no kidding, right?
But, you know what I mean? He knew the suit didn't suit him or even fit him, but he still got on with it and had a great laugh out of it.
That's amazing. So getting back to the album, to Timescape, the latest video, Time Flies. I love the concept of the video itself. My thoughts immediate were kind of curious about your vision. I would assume your vision for the song coincides with that video, of course, that's a very long song. It's over 11 minutes.
It is. Well, it's 2 tracks really.
Yeah.
It's the Time Flies is actually a song on its own, and End of Eternity is an instrumental.
Right.
So, but we put the 2 of them together because it's the same chord sequence and it fitted really well. And James Comfort is a great guitar player, as you can hear on that track. And the other tracks too, he plays great. So he's a great soloist. So is Mike Clark, actually, who's the keyboard player. And they've been playing together, James and Mike, since they're about 11 years old.
Wow.
And they're late 30s now.
Yeah.
They met while they were in school together, and they played together ever since. Great team, if you like,
Wow.
combo.
Wow. And you mentioned that they had been doing progressive like Genesis and stuff like that previously.
Yeah, they love that stuff.
The prog rock stuff.
You can tell on the second track of Timescape, because they wrote that. Stevie G wrote the song, if you like, and James and Mike did the music in between. So, you get a taste of the way they write and play by listening to that. And, as far as I'm concerned, that had to go on the album.
You mentioned the guitar playing. I thought that really stood out to me. That guitar playing is phenomenal.
Yeah, and he's like that on stage.
The tone is great.
As I say, we played for 2 hours, and he's always on form.
It's amazing. In that song, it kind of reminds you. It's kind of got that Pink Floyd type of vibe as well. And that's what I found.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. Well, it's the repeat echo as well.
Right.
I just had the idea. The idea came just as a repeat echo. I had no other idea of a melody or lyrics or anything. I thought I just somehow want to have a repeat echo in there. And that's how it turned out. Then the song was afterwards.
Yeah, and I mean, when you think of songs like that, when you think of Pink Floyd, they always had a way of telling a story within, like, you could envision those things in your mind if you're just listening to it. But of course, you've got the video as the visual. But they were a great band for, lyrically, they were great in telling a story. And I find with that song, it does the same thing.
Well, thank you. One of my favorite bands, of course, and Gilmour, of course, one of my favorite players.
Yeah.
I worked with them for a whole year, all over the world. We traveled by bus mainly everywhere. Once we'd flown to the States and stuff.
Yeah.
And he's a great guy. So, he's all round good guy as far as I'm concerned. And it's an honor again to play that, because we do some Pink Floyd in the set also.
Oh, cool.
So with that and Led Zeppelin, which we do in the set, it's a great combination, and people always they transfixed for 2 hours, to be honest.
Yeah.
I'm pleased to say.
That's fantastic. I mean, when you think of going to see a show and getting to see all that music, I think that's, as well as doing your own stuff, you're throwing in those things, and people are I'm sure they're just captivated by that, because, I mean, there's still lots of live music, but there's not that timeless live music as much as there used to be, because guys are, retiring, and they're not doing it as much as they used to. So you don't get to hear these songs as much.
Yeah, that's true.
Right.
That's true. And, I wanted to be a drummer all my life. I haven't quite succeeded yet, but I'm working on it.
Still working on it. Oh, that's good. Now, there's a video for Back with a Vengeance, and when I turned that video on, I loved your introduction. I thought that was so cool, and there's some humor in there as well, which I loved. And within your bio, it says, for this album, it says, for the headbangers, there's plenty to enjoy. And that song is like a cross between Brian Johnson and Rob Halford. It's got that vocal, which is so cool. And
thanks.
and I loved that. And I was and the thing about it is you're trying to pinpoint. You're going, okay, does it sound like Brian Johnson? Does it sound like Rob Halford? So it captures your ear. One of those songs.
Yeah,
that
it's a mix of James Corford again singing.
Yeah.
And Bun Davis, who does our AC/DC stuff and others, of course.
Yeah.
But he has the AC/DC voice.
Yeah.
So I mixed them both together because it sounded great as far as I'm concerned. Bun with his sort of, shall I say, usual voice, is singing the first track on the album, Sundance. Yeah. And that's his voice, if you like, without trying to sound like AC/DC, or at least fitting with AC/DC.
Right.
And, Stevie G is the other singer who also plays bass. So Stevie does sort of all the Jimmy Page, David Gilmour type songs, Earth Band type songs.
Yeah.
And Bun Davis does AC/DC.
That's awesome. I mean, you mentioned Sundance, and I absolutely loved that. And I love that the drums and the keyboard work together. They kind of, you're playing that rhythm, and the keyboard's kind of following along to that, which was cool. Is there anything else you can say about that song? I mean, that's got a really cool vibe to it.
You mean Sundance itself?
Yes, Sundance itself. Yes, sorry.
Sundance is a traditional Native American tradition, I suppose is the word.
Yeah.
And it's usually a rite of passage for eligible braves, shall I say.
Yeah.
And it's quite cruel, actually.
Oh.
They dance around a pole.
Right.
Like, at least a dozen people. And they are tied to the pole by, they have in their chest, stuck in their chest.
Oh.
They have horns to hold and they dance around this pole for like 3 days at least without any food or drink. And, it's the rite of passage for young people, for young males. And they've been doing it for centuries.
Right.
I think it's now illegal, actually, although I'm sure it still goes on.
Yeah. Wow.
So that's what Sundance actually is. So if you know that, then the lyrics sort of make sense as well, which maybe they don't if you don't know what Sundance is.
Well, I guess the lyrics, but as well as how you portrayed the music as well, with that kind of, how you're drumming on it as well. It's kind of like, I guess in my vision, in my mind, I'm kind of hearing how they would dance to that beat almost. Like, I mean, I think there's a whole bunch of ways you could go about interpreting that.
Yeah, I'm quite proud of that drum track, actually.
Yeah, it sounds.
I just came up with it in the spur of the moment, and it worked straight away.
That's fantastic.
So and the guys played to it immediately.
Right.
So yes, I'm quite pleased with that drum track. And the rest of the guys. Work that they put into it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the one of the things that I noticed about the album is it's very versatile as well. There's some stuff that's very heavy, but one of the songs, Joybringer, is a very cool song. It brings a totally different vibe to the album. And I also get that positivity out of that. Kind of like, it's almost like, to me, it's like you're kind of saying, I the joy bringer? Are you the joy bringer? Is, that kind of vibe, and it keeps things very light and happy.
Yeah, it came from, or comes from, The Planet Suite by Holst, who was a British composer. And in Earthband, we used the melodies from that, and I wrote the lyrics to it. So, it was a top 10 hit in Britain, if not in Europe. This was a long time back. This was in the 70s, 1970s.
Wow.
So, but it's already been a hit, if you like.
Yeah.
Of small hit, but nevertheless top 10, not bad.
Yeah.
And it's about the first thing I wrote, actually. And of course, Manfred and Mick Rogers helped with it enormously. Manfred came up with a great arrangement, I think, to sort of swing the classical music.
Yeah.
And he's very good at that anyway. So that's where that came from. It was, they're great melodies, as a lot of classical music is.
Yeah.
In fact, they get stolen all the time.
Oh, that's true. I mean,
by various writers,
right.
Including myself.
Well, you got to take inspiration from somewhere, right?
Yeah. And it's the first time I've done lyrics and melodies, actually. I've always been a sort of a lyricist and a bit of a poet. So I've always written words, but first time I attempted for writing melodies. So I'm very pleased the way it, and I left it a bit late to try these things.
Well, I mean, I think you did a great job. So, I mean, you can't.
I'll do a better job in 10, 20 years.
10, 20. I love that. So, and then a song like Living the Dream. Again, that is very positive. I love the feel. I think lyrically that one's brilliant. What can you say about that one, Chris?
It's just, like you say, I love the positive thinking behind it.
Yeah.
It's obviously one of my things to be very positive about life or anything. And don't believe other people. Just within reason, do what you want to do. As long as it doesn't hurt anybody.
That's true.
And you've got to, there's so many naysayers that you'll come across in your life, whether you're starting out or been there for a long time. There'll be plenty of people to tell you you're rubbish, whether you're an actor or a musician or artist. You're rubbish. Of course you're rubbish, because I can't do what you do. So as far as I'm concerned, you are rubbish. And
I love
that's
that.
just not true. You've got to take the opportunities as they arrive and use the most of them. And as I say, as long as it doesn't hurt anybody, you're doing great. And so you've got to, as the song said, you've got to believe in yourself.
Yes.
And don't listen to the naysayers, Yeah. Because sometimes they don't do anything. They're great at criticizing, especially these days of social media. It happens all the time, doesn't it?
Oh, does it ever?
Oh,
Yes.
what's the matter? No, she's too fat. She's too thin. She's too whatever,
Yeah, it's easy to judge, right? Like, it's very easy to
Absolutely.
to be judgmental
like,
online.
Hey, people, why don't you try doing something yourself?
That's just it, right? That's so true. I wanted to ask you, I think back to I guess it would be 1990 when Thunderstruck was released, and thinking about that drum track and how huge that was, and how the whole album itself and how great it was. I believe Bruce Fairbairn produced that album. Is that correct? Am I correct in that assumption?
I didn't hear that last
Bruce
sentence.
Fairbairn produced The Razor's Edge, I believe.
Yes.
The late Bruce Fairbairn, unfortunately, he was a fellow Canadian and a great I mean, everything he did at that time seemed to put a band to the next level almost. I mean, The Razor's Edge.
Very experienced guy.
Yeah.
Knew his stuff. And Mike Fraser too, the engineer.
Mike Fraser, yes.
Who's now AC/DC producer.
That is amazing.
Yes, they both did a great job.
So, I mean, from you came into that album. That was your first album you did with the band. From your perspective, yes. What was it like working with them as a drummer? Did they, were they very intricate in how the drums were going to sound and how they were going to structure with the songs?
No, the last thing they want is an intricate drum part.
Really, eh? Oh, really?
That's the very last thing they want. As simple as possible.
Really?
If it's 4 to the floor, that's it.
Yeah.
And they really know their stuff, of course. They've been at it long enough, even back then.
Yeah.
In the 90s. And they've been hugely successful sticking to their guns, as we say, staying, doing what they do,
right.
And I think somebody asked Angus once in an interview, Angus, you've been, I think this was the 90s, but, you've been recording now and you've done like 21 albums. And a lot of people say they sound exactly the same. And Angus says, that's ridiculous. That is absolutely ridiculous. How dare you say something like that? We've done 22 albums. They've been exactly the same.
20, that's amazing. Well, I mean, okay, maybe, I mean, it's that formula that works, but when Thunderstruck came out, Angus had never, I mean, that guitar riff is timeless. As soon as you hear that guitar riff, you know what that song is, right? And
yeah, absolutely.
It's not like he had rewritten.
Fantastic track.
Exactly. It's not like he had rewritten something he had already done. This was all,
No, it was all completely different to anything else, wasn't it?
It totally was.
Isn't it, I should say.
Yeah, totally.
And
was.
it's been, I think it's been in the charts since then, actually, in some form or other. I saw something the other day. I think it was download charts. I'm not quite sure.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was, though. But it's absolutely classic track. We do that on stage, of course, every night.
Yep.
You have to. And very proud to do it.
Yeah. I mean, it's got the chant, it's got the guitar riff, the drums are huge. It's just, it's such an infectious song, right?
If you
it's
wanted
an
to
anthem.
say, you've got to write a song. Here's the template for a great song.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, and it's totally true. And that song kind of, AC/DC was already huge, but that even propelled the band even more when that album came out. It was like, 4 singles on that album. I mean, it's such a great album.
Yep. And we played most of them live. I think we did all of them live at some point.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Yeah. So, it was a great honor to play on that album.
Yeah.
And the others I've done with them. So, and people in Europe and Britain, actually. They don't get how big AC/DC are.
Oh no.
They, I've said to like cab drivers and things like that. They always say, "Oh, what do you do?" Oh, I don't often go into it, but I play drums because you know where that's going to lead.
That's right.
Oh, anybody? You played for anybody famous? uh, you know how it goes.
Yeah.
And it's like eventually, if it's a long journey, they get it out of me. You know. But I try not to really shove it down people's throats of my CV, or whatever you call it there. CV, isn't it?
CV, yeah.
Yeah. And, it's, I keep saying it, but it's a great honor to be working with all those people and be able to work with them and to have been around as long as I have. I started with Tom Jones in the 1960s.
Yes, I saw that. I was like, wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. I didn't know him before I got in the band, but my father knew him because my father was a tap dancer and singer.
Oh.
And Tommy Woodward, as he was then, back in South Wales, used to come and do a couple of songs with my father's concert party. Concert party is like you sing for steel workers and miners and people like that.
Okay.
In their clubs. And I'm from the Rhondda Valley in South Wales. So is Tom Jones. And that's what they used to do for fun in those days. Go out of an evening with the wife and have a few pints. So that was the idea of a concert party. And that's where I started with Tom Jones. He was Tommy Scott, as I said.
Yeah.
And, I started off with Tommy Scott and the Senators and ended up with Tom Jones when he changed his name.
Wow.
Because Tommy Scott sounded, what I'm from, Jones is such a common name that who's saying, oh, it's Tom Jones. Oh, which Jones is that? Is he?
Really?
Is that from Bridgend or from Burnpreath or where?
Right.
It's a very, very common name, like Smith.
Right.
So, he didn't think to call himself Tom Jones because it wasn't an exotic name. And then the movie called Tom Jones came out, which is about the plot is a guy goes around Britain in the 16th century, I think, something like that, being a rake, and that suited Tom quite well.
Oh, that's cool.
He became Tom Jones.
Wow.
Very exotic Tom Jones from where I'm from.
Yeah.
Every other person's called Jones.
I had no idea. I didn't know that. I mean, I just learned something new. That's amazing. I mean, Jones is in Canada. It's a pretty common name as well, but I had no idea, and I didn't know that Tom had actually changed his name either. I mean, I know there are a lot of guys that do change their names. So, I mean,
Tommy Scott is much more exotic than Tom Jones.
Yeah. Wow. So, I mean, Chris, you played in the Firm as well, which we had alluded to earlier. And how did you end up getting that gig?
I got a phone call from Pagey.
Really?
Who said, I'm putting the band together with Paul Rogers, and we'd like you to play drums. And I was gobsmacked,
Yeah.
to use a British phrase.
Right.
I couldn't believe it. That was just a phone call to home. He found out my phone number from somewhere. And, I was amazed that I got the gig, to say the least.
That's cool.
I knew Paul. I'd met Paul first in 1971. But I didn't know him any more than that, if you see what I mean. Yeah. We didn't keep in touch or anything.
Right.
But did a tour with Deep Purple and Man from Man's Earth Band, a tour of Australia, Man from Man's Earth Band, and Free.
Wow.
We're opening the show.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So I knew Paul from then. So, I'd never met Pagey, although we'd played on some tracks together with Tom Jones, because him and John Paul Jones were, see the Jones again.
Yeah, the Jones.
Him and John Paul
right.
Jones were on a lot of Tom's records. Because as session men,
Right, yeah.
So they never used to put your name on the album, ever. They never put the musicians,
yeah,
like trumpet,
yeah,
violin. They don't do that with the old records.
Which gives it an elusiveness, right? Kind of gives it an elusiveness of you don't know who's on it, which I think is kind of cool.
Yeah. I prefer it the way they do it these days, actually.
Yeah.
Because, you'd think that Jimmy Page, who is a big session guy in those days, and John Paul Jones, who was also a big session guy, would get some sort of mention, but they don't. I did an album,
true.
a Tom Jones album called 13 Smash Hits. I don't know if it's even available right now. And that was John Paul Jones on bass.
Really?
And on some tracks, Jimmy Page. Not all of them, some of them. But I think John Paul Jones is on all the tracks.
Yeah, I mean, you're right, though, because when they do, like for me as a record buyer, if I see a name on it, there's a chance that I may pick it up if I don't know it. John Paul Jones is on this. You know what? I want to hear this. I want to hear how that's, you know what I mean? So by not doing that and it being an elusive name, you don't really know, right? But that's kind of me as a record listener and being a music fan and a fan of musicians.
But they weren't, in those days, Pagey or JP were not known
right,
to people. They weren't a name, yet. They were in the music world. Jimmy Page was probably the most widely used in the whole of the music business throughout Europe and Britain.
Yeah.
And he's played on everything with everybody, even ghosted, as they call it, on lots of hit tracks in those days.
Yeah.
In other words, you think, oh, that's a great guitar. And you find out at the end of the day,
Page.
It's Jimmy Page.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, I had heard that he had played on Stones records and stuff. Like.
Yeah, I'm sure. He did everybody. I mean, everybody. He had a huge name in the music business and not so much in the street. It then crossed over, of course, to the street.
Yes. To a small band named Led Zeppelin.
Yeah, I think I've heard of them.
Yeah, they weren't bad.
Yeah.
They might have had a small hit here and there. You never know.
Pink Floyd and Zeppelin are probably my favorite bands, along with thousands, millions of other people, of course.
Yeah, I'm the same. I mean, getting back to the Firm as well, and Tony Franklin was the bass player in that band, and he's no slouch either. He's an incredible bass player, and I mean, I've been a fan of his. I mean, he went on to play with Carmine Appice and John Sykes in Blue Murder, so I mean, and he's known as the fretless monster, which is, he's an incredible bass player.
Yeah, he is. He's a tremendous musician, actually. He plays keyboards too. And he also sings, although he's not given much chance to, I don't think.
I did not know that.
So, he's a very talented guy.
Yeah.
He lives in the States. And, it was a great pleasure to work with him, as it was with everybody in the band.
Yeah.
So I was more than pleased. I thought the firm would go on for a couple more years. I'd hoped it would anyway.
Right.
Me and Tony both hoped it would, but was not to be.
Well, I mean, at least there's great music out there for us to listen to, and unfortunately there wasn't more. But I mean, that's just the way it goes sometimes, right? Unfortunately.
Yeah, it was. It lasted 2 years, the firm. So
that was it, eh?
That's quite a long time, and 2 albums.
Yeah.
So that's quite a long life as far as bands are concerned these days. Sometimes, isn't it? That
is true. That is. I mean, in band life, sometimes, things. But I also find in music, things seem to go so fast. You're like, it's like an album gets released, and then nowadays an album gets released, and they kind of get. They're not around as long as they used to be, because the demographic of everything has changed so much. But
yeah, that's true. Time flies,
Time does fly. Yeah.
Plug.
I love that. Well, Chris, before I let you go, I want to thank you very much. It was such a pleasure to speak with you. Is there anything else you'd like to add before I let you go?
No, not really, to be honest. You've covered an immense amount of stuff there. Good. Immense amount of decades.
Good.
Where are you based yourself? I know Canada.
I'm near Toronto. I'm very close to Toronto.
Ah, right. One of my sons lives in Calgary.
Oh, okay.
Him and his family, been there quite a few years now.
Very nice. So beautiful there.
So I go and visit.
Nice.
When I can.
Yeah.
And it's great. I really like Canada. We used to call it America with vegetables.
Really?
In the States, you could not get vegetables in a restaurant.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Not
we got lots of vegetables here.
Not 60s, 70s. Yeah, really? I know there's the obvious thing there.
Oh, yeah.
To say.
Yes.
I don't mean the people, obviously.
No.
But you just could not get vegetables in the States. Really? Not in an ordinary restaurant. If you went and paid a fortune,
yeah,
you could. But we didn't have a fortune in those days.
Oh, right. Wow. Yeah, I think, you know what, and you mentioning that, I mean, I'm going to Michigan tomorrow, so I'm heading over to the States, and I always find that mentioning the vegetables, and this isn't very rock talk, but you know what, this is a conversation that is kind of cool. Going into a grocery store in the United States, the vegetables are expensive. It's one of those things that, for some reason, a bag of chips is way cheaper than a thing of broccoli or whatever. You know what I mean? It's kind of a weird thing. But I mean, I guess maybe people eat more bags of chips than they do vegetables over there. I don't know.
Yeah. It's funny, basic food, like burgers and things, you've always been able to get those.
Yeah.
But I was a vegetarian at one time.
Okay.
Especially the 70s.
Yeah.
And, that was a major thing. Have you got any cabbage or cauliflower? Or
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. You can have chips or French fries,
That's right.
And that's it. That's the extent of the menu, if you like, was back then. So it's not so much now.
Right. But there would have been some frustration for you if you're a vegetarian and you can't find any vegetables.
Yes, you could say a bit. I got very sick once because I lived on grilled cheese sandwiches,
Oh boy.
and I got very, very sick. I nearly didn't make it on stage.
Oh wow.
The
Oh.
guys had to carry me on, literally.
Well, I'm glad you made it through, and we wouldn't be here today if you didn't. So that's good. That's good.
Cheers.
Well, anyways, okay. Well, Chris, hey, you enjoy the rest of your day. It was such a pleasure, and
Thank you.
great luck with the album and the band. And I mean, it's fantastic. So I wish you all the best
Yeah.
with that.
We haven't stopped working. That's it. Well, we have at the moment because it's summertime and it's blazing hot.
Yeah.
Over here, and it's a bit like Vegas weather
Oh wow.
in the summer over here at the moment. But you know, it's not bad because it don't happen very often in Britain.
That's what I hear. Yeah, I was there when I was a kid and haven't been back since. But yeah, that's what I understand. I mean, it's been hot here, but today's a little bit cooler. So,
Oh, good.
anyways, okay. Well, enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you again.
Thanks, Tyson. Thanks
Okay.
very much.
Thank you, Chris.
I enjoyed it.
I did too as
Thank
well.
you.
Thank you very much. Take care.
Bye. Bye for now.
Bye bye.